With high-end CO2 emissions baking the globe, it's pretty important for our government to be taking action against growing CO2 emissions. Let's take a look at Russia.
Russia's intended nationally determined contribution includes an emissions reduction target of 25 to 30%. The collapse of the economy in the early 1990s lowered their emissions enough so they can grow without worry or regulation. This contradicts what is needed to improve climate change prevention.
There are some countries who are taking real action to decrease their CO2 emissions. European leaders have struck a broad climate change pact obliging the EU to cut greenhouse gases by at least 40% by 2030. That's all well and good, but there is a clause in the pact allowing the EU to change the agreement if other industrial nations do not make comparable efforts, and that's not looking likely. The U.S. produces over 25% of the CO2 emissions, and the U.S. Senate voted 95-0 against the Kyoto Treaty, the world's first legally binding climate change deal, and things aren't looking better.
In spite of unprecedented consensus in the scientific community and the well-accepted arsenal of threats posed by global warming, climate change denial is still common among politicians and other prominent figures, especially among right-wing parties, specifically in the United States. Popular stances among climate change deniers include that CO2 levels in the atmosphere are not rising, that even if CO2 is increasing, it has no effect on the climate, that if it does have an impact, it is insignificant or even beneficial, that global warming is natural, and that even if it is man-made, human impact is minor.